Hey everyone, Dr. Frunkey here with a new unboxing video. Before I get to that knife, what I have in front of you is my current custom knife collection. I have 3 custom knives that I absolutely adore, and I like them because they're personalized to the individual. Usually each one of these knives is a one-off, like this Peter Rosenti Satori that has the contoured integral titanium handle, the mirror wash blade, and the zirconium pivot and clip. I had sort of specced that out with Peter a while back. It's also one of the absolute smoothest knives in the world that I have ever felt. Wonderful action on that. The Brian Nadeau Mini Typhoon is a recent acquisition. I had this recently on my channel. Also a crazy smooth knife. This one has a proprietary detent that does not have a ball. It has a little ramp in there instead. Absolutely spectacular little tactical folder, little EDC folder. I love the size on this, but I love that it's unique. And definitely, I love the Frank Fisher and Robert Carter Talon. I've had this now for a few months. To be perfectly honest, I tried to sell it a couple of times and no one else wanted it, but I love this knife. It just cost a whole lot of money, and I was going to try to keep the channel going with that money, but I might just be holding on to this knife for a while. It is so cool. It is so special, and there's only 9 of them that are only ever going to be made, and this one is very unique. I love it. So, what do we have new today? Well, my friends, I've got a knife from Gavko. So this is my very first Gavko knife. I have never really handled one of the knives before, but I've been seeing all of the knives that are out there. This is my Gavko Trasher, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. This is a relatively new custom model from maker Michael Gavak. He was a knife customizer for a while and then went full-time maker. He is really well known right now for his spinner model. His spinner has been made by CKF, Custom Knife Factory, and Ferrum Forge, and it's just all over the place. And so he's a popular maker. But he offers his custom knives for sale through his Instagram. He shares some pictures of them, and he says that these are going to be available at this time, so pay attention. And that's how I grabbed this one. He showed a picture of a few trashers recently, and I've been really intrigued by the design. I will say that I happen to have with me another one, and this one comes to me by way of a very generous viewer. His name is Jaime, or Jaime. Really nice guy. Sent this full-size trasher along, and it's actually pretty special that he sent this one because, well, it's green, and you know I love green. This was actually the knife that grabbed my attention towards this model. Now, I follow Gavko Knives on Instagram, and I see all of his posts, but this green one definitely grabbed my eye for a number of reasons, because it's green, but also because it's a non-flipper, and it didn't have a hole in the blade. I'm not a big fan of having a hole in the blade, and I do like these thumb studs. So I thought it was unique even within the Gavko design philosophy. So I'm so thankful for him to send this full custom, full-size trasher along for comparison. I want to get both of these guys on camera right now. Beautiful knives. Something that's different about mine, obviously, it's a little bit smaller. Mike calls this the Shrunk Trasher, small trasher, whatever you want to call it. He called it the Shrunk Trasher. I really like that. It is smaller. It's a much more EDC friendly size. It's coming in around 3.5 inches on the blade length right there, where this full size one is coming in around 4 inches on the blade. So a little bit bigger there. I can bring out a couple of other knives for a size comparison. This is a 0392, also with a 3.5 inch blade. You can see the size similarities there. I've got my 0055, the Gustavo Cecchini, that's been modified by Fanatic Edge. That's a 3.75 inch blade, a little bit bigger there. Why don't we just go ahead and put it on camera here. Again, the Robert Carter Frank Fisher Talon. That's a 3.25 inch blade right there. And just for comparison's sake, here's another 3.5 inch. That Brian Nadeau is right at 3.5 inches as well. So a very nice carry size. Very happy to have that coming in here at that size and that profile. Another thing that caught my eye about this knife, and you might notice it from just looking at it right there, is the grind. So look at this face right here. This has been completely acid stonewashed, or I'm not exactly sure what to call that finish. Maybe wire wheel, similar to my old Nirvana. But look at the beautiful grind on the lock side. This is hand-rubbed satin done. The top swedge and the secondary bevel down here are almost a mirror polished. If I put my hand up here, you can see what I'm talking about. But then this primary bevel is a little bit more of a coarse satin. It's still very reflective, but it's not quite as mirror polished. And then he's carried out this amazing finish on the blade there again. And he's done just a nice stonewash on the handles here. Now, something that you might have just seen that made this knife extra special for me is this skull on the clip. I need to talk to him about what exactly that means. Maybe some of you Gavko aficionados can tell me more about what that means, but that is really badass to me. And as a guy that does surgery on skulls routinely, that makes it extra special to me. That is for sure. This has totally got my name written all over it. Now, something I have noticed about that grind is that it makes this knife unfreaking believably sharp. I have never had a knife this sharp in my collection ever. And the reason for that is that the chisel grind allows for an insanely acute angle. Now, I couldn't tell you exactly what that angle is. I'll talk to Mike and see if he could tell me, but it slices better than anything else in my collection. It is truly the sharpest knife in my collection. And that does include this ridiculously sharp 0392 with that beautiful mirror polished wicked edge on there. That's at 17 degrees per side, but I guarantee you that this is a much more acute angle, and that's because of the way it's ground. It's really ground only on one side, and so you have this hyper acute angle there. This thing will, I've already done it, slice right through a tomato with almost no effort. It's incredibly sharp, and I really, really appreciate that. Something I didn't really see in some of the pictures was some of the finer details. There's some of this stone-like milling going on, and it covers the entire circumference of the knife. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. Yep. Even on the inside of the blade there, on the blade, on the handle. It's even, if I can catch the light here the right way, on the inside. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show that to you in the light that I have, but it continues on the inside of the back spacer as well. I'm going to get these knives up in a separate video for comparison, but they're definitely beautiful, beautiful knives. I'm really impressed initially with the quality of Gavko knives. Again, these are the first knives that I've ever had from this maker, and I am really, really impressed. I just don't know what to say beyond that. The smoothness is out of control. Watch this just freely drop. The opening action, the detent is spot on. The ergonomics are fantastic. It opens easily. It's got a forward finger choil. This is not jimping, but it's actually integrated into the design. It provides traction. It's comfortable in the hand. I love this size. The ergonomics on the big one are also excellent. This is just a much bigger knife. This one is definitely more of a tactical size rather than an EDC size, but you know, you could definitely use this in a tactical role. It's a very aggressive knife, and I do like it for that reason. So super, super impressed initially. I just wanted to get this guy on camera with a few of my other custom knives, show off the generosity of some of my viewers. I am just eternally thankful to everyone who sends me a knife or who talks to me online. You know, I enjoy talking in the comments or on Instagram. This is a lot of fun for me. I'm just having a great time. You're watching my addiction evolve here and the collection. So speaking of the collection, because I've been picking up so many knives and I actually have some other knives on sort of order right now, I'm going to be changing my collection up again. I'm going to be selling some knives. So if you see any knives in my collection that you might be interested in, head over to my Instagram and check out some of my recent shots. Maybe you could ask me if I'm interested in selling it, and I might be. So anything in my collection is really up for grabs at the right price. I really enjoy sort of evolving it constantly and then presenting you guys with videos on new and interesting products like these. So super happy to be introduced to Gavko products right now. Super, super happy to have this beautiful, beautiful Shrunk Trasher in my collection. It's got some very unique features that I'll go over in a full review video. Just wanted to get it up on the camera for you guys. Tell me what you think down below. Tell me about your stories with Gavko and your love or hate for Gavko knives, and we'll learn a little bit about it. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Go over to Instagram and follow me at Dr. Frunkey. And as always, guys, this is Dr. Frunkey saying, take care.